Good morning and welcome to a new episode of Thinking It Through with Tia. Uh, I was led to stop and just have a quick conversation. So I'm going to have just a quick conversation. So uh, there have been a few questions that I've received lately that they all come back to the same root concern. And I realize that I've had the conversation a lot of times and I'm being led to have it here. I want to talk about sovereignty. A lot of times lately, as I'm having conversations with people, I'm expressing what sovereignty is to people from my perspective, okay? Not a defined definition, just from my lived experience. So, for me, sovereignty is standing in the full knowing and control of yourself. Therefore, when I say I'm sovereign here, it means that I make my choices with intention. I control my emotions. I don't allow my emotions to control me. I choose what I want to do. I choose that if I want to achieve something, I have to also take the action towards achieving that action. I choose to be a part of my own life and stand in whatever decision I choose to make for myself, whether that is to wake up and drink tea versus something sweet, or to drink more water than to drink soda or juice if that's something you're trying to get away from. So it's about being sovereign over the decisions that you make in your own life, including how you choose to deal with conflict, how you choose to deal with circumstances that one might see as bad. Like, say for instance, one of the things that was brought to my attention to show me how I sometimes see things differently is I speak all the time about all my positive experiences, all the things, all the joy that I feel, all the bliss that I feel within my life. But that makes people seem to think that things don't also happen in my life. But things do happen in my life. So at a point that I'm at my happiest times and I remained that way, I didn't shift there. My air conditioner flooded out and I had to come and get all of that stuff replaced. But the joy is that it was something that was fixable. Therefore, it wasn't the end of the world. It was inconvenient, sure, but it wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't enough to make me discard the beauty of everything else that's happening in my experience. So that's sovereign. I'm sovereign over how I think, over how I feel, how I respond, right? Um, I realize that I get to control what I say, what I do, but I don't get to control how someone else receives it, right? They can receive it the way they receive it. Now, the other part about being sovereign that I think tends to be a little bit of a concern is that being sovereign over yourself and having that type of control over you, excuse me, hiccups. um, it means that you also respect that another person has that type of sovereignty and control over themselves. So that means that you can't make another person change to be what you want them to be, or act how you want them to act, or see things the way that you want them to act. All you could do is stand in your own personal sovereignty and express yourself honestly, openly. And if they misunderstand, maybe try to seek understanding versus, they're wrong, I'm right, and then now it's an argument or it's a rift, when you really truly want harmony. So being in sovereignty means I'd rather have peace than to be right, because I could already know that I'm right. Why do I need you to know that I'm right? It doesn't change whether I know that I'm right. But sometimes we get caught up in the moments where we want to be right. we want to be much more than we want peace. And I just choose that I'd rather have the peace. So, an example that was given to me to share about sovereignty is sovereignty means that I'll be true to myself in every aspect of life. An example of not being true to yourself in every aspect of life could be as simple as I would choose to decorate my home with beautiful decor before I would pay my bills. So you may think, well, I'm decorating because decorating makes me feel happy. And if I feel happy, then I can make better decisions, and that could be cool. But you're also not thinking that if I don't pay the bills for the place that I'm putting the decor, I'm going to soon not have a place for me or the decor. So we're not thinking far enough because we're not standing in our own sovereignty. Sometimes we're standing in a state of comparison with others, or just proving, I guess, that you are something. But why do you have to prove it if you are it? You already know what you are, so why do you need to prove it? But I guess the point here is when you stand in your own sovereignty and you take accountability for your own actions, and you make choices and you make decisions that can sometimes be hard. Sometimes the decisions can be hard. Sometimes you have to let go of things that just no longer resonate where you're at now. You have to release sometimes friendships and family dynamics and work dynamics and different things to get truly into your sovereignty, sure. But it's not just that easy. You also have to release old thought processes, ways of thinking, limited beliefs, uncashed in desires. Uncashed in desires. You got to think about it like this. Do your desires desire you? Because if you don't believe that your desires desire you, you're not in sovereignty. Because you think that you're desiring something that's outside of your reach. No, stand in your truth. Stand in your reality. If you can desire it, you can achieve it. But you have to put in the work to do it. It won't just come to you. Put in the work. And sometimes the work is just faith. The faith, evidence of things not yet seen, right? The evidence of things not yet seen. It's just having faith that it can come. Faith and manifestation, pretty much the same thing. You're just having a belief or desire. With faith, you're believing that these things can come true. With manifestation, you're calling it to yourself. It's the same thing. You believe you can get it if you can call it to yourself. It's the same thing. It's just different terms. It's not a big gap. It's not really a big gap. It's just words. People call different things, but sometimes I think we could get away from the words of what things are called and get more into, okay, well, what does your belief look like? Because if I understand what your belief looks like, I might realize that we actually believe a lot of the same things. Yeah, we still have our differences in the ways we approach it, but we believe the same things. So let's go beyond that part and say, well, what do you do in regards to your beliefs? How do you put your beliefs into practical experience? How do you put your beliefs into practical experience? Do you believe that you're meant to be kind, and then do you live kind, or do you live from a stale place in your heart that you maybe just haven't healed yet? Do you know? Have you looked within? Are you in control of you just to prove others that they're not? Just to prove to other people that they're not? Because that's still not sovereignty. You're doing it for somebody else. Do it for you. Like, look inside of you for you. Because I promise when you look, there are beautiful things inside of there. Even if life has looked very ugly, even if life has been hard, even if life has been lifing. We all know what that means, and that can mean different things for different people. And I have compassion for all of those people. Sometimes people think that just because a person has lived a good life, that they've lived a good life. Let that sink in for a minute. Just because a person has money and sometimes even fame or notoriety, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't mean they had a good life. They have talent, right? They have drive. They have things that they know how to get to what they desire, but it don't mean they're not hurting on the inside. It doesn't mean that they're still not a person that's going through life, that's not experiencing something that they wish somebody could understand. But everybody's so busy trying to see what they can get from one another instead of standing there silently and realize you have everything you need already. Because the moment you realize that you have everything you need will be right in front of you. Sovereignty. So I guess that's the message I was supposed to give today. I hope that this message reaches whoever it needs to reach in whatever moment you need it to reach. I just woke up, still half asleep. It's very early in the morning, but I just felt like this message was needed at this moment, so I'm going to give it. So, even though we've reached the end, let's go back to the beginning. Hi, if you've never been here before, my name is Tia of Thinking It Through with Tia, where we just talk about life from different perspectives. I answer some questions that people ask, and I share whatever comes over me in the moment, as I'm doing now. So, if this resonated with you, peace to your soul. If it didn't, that's okay too. Follow your path. I trust that all beings are meant to follow their own path. I don't force anybody to move. I just offer you a new perspective and you do with it what you want. So, thank you for being here with me today. Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. But most importantly, just live. Because that's life. That's what life was made to do. You're meant to live, not to fight over right, wrong, anything. Live. Embody what you believe. If you really have a true belief system, embody what you believe and watch how the world changes. And it doesn't have to be the massive world. It just has to be yours. Because when your world changes, the whole world changes. Go see how you can change your world. Peace.